Hey everybody, my name is Roy Bandari with Talk Condo, and today we're going to be talking all things M City Phase 4 with a partner of Urban Capital, Mark Reeve, and the VP and Treasurer of Rogers Telecommunication, John Anderton. So thank you very, very much for joining us here today. We're really, really excited to talk about it.
Thank you, Roy. We really appreciate it. We know you've been a big supporter of M City in the past, and we're looking forward to you being there for us for M4.
Well, it's funny you say that. Obviously, this is when we do these interviews. I always tend to go back and see what we did before, and I spoke to both of you guys 4 years ago for M City Phase 1 and Phase 2, and then again for M City Phase 3 a couple of years ago. And before we talk about M City 4, we have to quickly touch on the success of 1, 2, and 3. Just from my perspective, M City Phase 1 and 2 were, in the decade that I've been selling new condos, still to this day, probably one of the most intense, demanded condominium projects that I remember selling. And then M City Phase 3 with just this incredible architecture, just sort of completely changing the skyline of Mississauga moving forward. Again, was a massive success. So talk to us just a little bit briefly on 1, 2, and 3 before we start talking about 4.
Well, 1 and 2 obviously were amazing buildings. We hit the Mississauga with a product that nobody's ever seen before, and the results spoke for themselves. We sold both buildings very, very quickly. And then we followed on the heels of it with an even more special building, an 81-story building versus two 61-story twins. And it was a remarkably successful building. All three of those buildings are under construction. In fact, M1 and M2 are up around the 20th floor right now. They'll be topped off by this time next year, and everybody in the GTA will be talking about them because it's going to have a major impact on the skyline throughout the city. So they're very exciting buildings. M3 is a very large building. It's going to follow behind by a few years from M1 and M2 because it's 81 stories. It's going to be a long build. But right now we're just getting to the stage where we're finishing the excavation of M3. It's a massive hole in the ground, and we'll be starting to fill it up with concrete shortly. And we're really excited about M4 because in many ways we think this is the most special building of the M City community so far, and we can talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said that with both, everything is under construction, which is so important these days. Buying from reputable developers is still to this day number one for us in terms of how important it is when you're buying new condominiums, and just having that track record in place is really important. And we just have to keep hammering that. Earlier today, I heard M City referred to as the most ambitious condominium overall project in Mississauga. And I think, again, looking across the GTA, I would actually argue it's probably one of the most ambitious in the GTA, and by extension, Canada. I think if you just took M3, 81-story building on its own and said this on its own is ambitious, but then you layer on all the other projects, and then you layer on the ground level, the amount of attention to detail at the ground level, and then you layer on bringing all of these pieces into a puzzle that works so that they all work sort of seamlessly together. It starts checking off really important boxes for investors and end users. You've got a master plan community, you've got really high quality buildings, you've got eye-catching design, like all of these pieces come together to really make it the most ambitious project in my eyes in across the GTA. So I just wanted to sort of highlight that. One of the things I want to talk about is the location. It's obviously a very important location in Mississauga. The piece of land has been in the family's the Rogers family for decades, since the 60s, if I recall. And it was always the intention to make this into a very special residential community. So talk to us about this location. I don't think it gets much better than this in Mississauga. So talk to us about the location and what you think makes it so special.
Well, we're right in the heart of the downtown of Mississauga, which is evolving very quickly. Its location is A+ in terms of proximity to the shopping that's available, the other amenities that are in the downtown, the soon-to-be constructed LRT. I don't think it gets any better than this, and we've discovered how much people actually really love downtown Mississauga now that it's maturing into a real urban community with all the amenities and services it has to offer. But you're right, this land has been owned, John, and family since 1963.
Yeah, so we're almost 50 years now.
The original intent was to erect, I think, radio antennas. Instead, we decided to erect a whole city which ultimately will be the home to about 12,000 people. So
Just took a little time to figure it out.
a better result. For sure.
Yeah, we're happy. We're happy.
Yeah.
You mentioned that, like, we're only part way through the process here. There's still a long way to go here, and again, we think people who are able to get into MCity4, there's still a lot of room for growth, a lot of room for growth, and this is only going to get better as future developments come online. I want to talk about a couple of the things that we believe are really the sort of standout features of the MCity community, and then this building specifically. The two things that sort of keep coming up over and over again for us is, number one, architecture. There's obviously been a very, very important focus on architecture. It's easy to take 15 acres and put 10 buildings that all look the same. And we've seen a lot of developers take this route. It's obviously not what is being done at MCity. Every single building has its own unique design, unique story. So I want you to guys, number one, to talk about the importance of that and what that brings to the community, and why investors and end users should be paying attention to this, and what will eventually make this stand out versus the master plans in other places. And number two is the technology. Obviously, with Rogers being a partner on this, you couldn't ask for a better technology partner. And I want to talk a little bit about that and how that plays in through the building, and again, benefits to the investor and the end user there. So let's start with architecture and sort of the overall theme there.
Well, the architecture was one of the key themes that we introduced to MCity from the very beginning. We decided right up front that this was going to be a project that featured world-class architecture from the first building right through to the last. And to execute that plan, we set about doing design competitions for each of the buildings in MCity. Now, there was so much demand for M1, we decided to twin it with M2. So it is basically the same building cranked on a different axis, but it was a uniquely selected and designed building as part of a design competition. Same with M3, that's when we brought in IBI. And then we did a design competition again associated with M4, and we're back with Core Architects. So each of these buildings, in and of itself, we think is world-class architecture. What's unique about M4 this time around? First of all, it's a very tall building, 67 stories. Yeah. But it's a series of 4 towerettes that are put together on one floor plate, which creates for some amazing floor plans. And I think actually the best set of floor plans of any of the buildings we've done so far. And it provides for some amazing corner suite conditions as well. So the tower is very simple and elegant and modern, but you'll notice the way the building tops off with each of the towerettes, stopping at a different point in the sky. And then it sits on top of what I think is by far the best podium that we've done so far, which is a series of building blocks that are stacked on top of each other, and then the tower extends up from there. It's very beautiful, and I think of all the buildings we've done at MCity, this one will read the nicest from street level as you're driving by, as you're walking through the community. It's going to be very exciting. So again, we think a world-class architectural statement with this building. And technology, that is another really important theme for M4. We've been promoting technology throughout MCity, but as time advances, things are moving along, and we're now into the 5G world. And there's a new relationship that Rogers has with a company called One Valet, which provides for a whole new interface for the condominium purchasers between the building and its functionality and your phone. So there's many things you'll be able to do with your phone that you wouldn't normally be able to do in a condominium. Everything from we've got door locks, thermostats,
facial recognition.
There's a number of lists of parcel delivery notification. There's all kinds of these front door video calling. There's many features that One Valley will bring to this building that are going to be very exciting. And then the backbone of the building is something called a DAS, distributed antenna system, that will promote 5G coverage throughout the building. So you'll be able to use your data package, your cell phone, throughout MCity, in the amenity areas, in the garage, up the elevators, everywhere. So we've invested heavily in the backbone infrastructure and also to future-proof the building so that new technology can come on as things change in the future. So I think the technology side of this project is very exciting, and it'll be one of the most technologically advanced residential projects in Canada when we're done. And that's the beauty of having Rogers as a partner on a project like this.
I absolutely, everything you just said is like, this is the stuff that I love to see. Like I have my own house. I have all the stuff that you talk, like a baby version of everything you just said, the doorbell, the door lock, and all these small things, they make such a big difference on just day-to-day living. I can tell you, having lived in a condominium myself, a lot of the sort of pain points that you're trying to address are major pain points that a lot of people have. Like the package delivery system is, anybody who's using the legacy systems, it's a mess. Your cell phone going out in the elevator, it's a mess. All of this stuff that you're trying to address with the new One Valet system. My brother Amit, he's in a condominium, and while you guys were giving us the presentation on the One Valet system, he's texting me saying, I need to get this into my own building somehow. So I think, and you know, this is anybody who lives in a condominium understands every single pain point that you're trying. And again, how does this help an investor? How does this help someone who's living in it eventually? These are the things that everybody goes through and are addressed. You know, this is going to have a positive impact on rental rates. This is going to have a positive impact on price per square foot compared to the other buildings in the area. So, like you know, we know you can't ask for a better technological partner than Rogers, and being able to take advantage of all that technology and put it throughout the entire building, from the second you walk into the lobby all the way to your own suite. And you know, I think this stuff is great, and I think moving forward, this is going to be the new way, and it's really great to see you guys sort of lead the charge on this.
Well, it's not only technology for today as well, as you heard this morning. It's technology that's future-proof. So the technology will follow on as time passes as well.
Amazing. So let's zero in right on MCity Phase 4. You've talked a little bit about it already. Give us sort of the bird's eye picture, how tall it is, how many suites, and give us sort of the bird's eye view, and then we want to talk specifically about some of the details with the amenities, which I know are very exciting as well.
Yeah, this is a 67-story building, approximately 950 units. It's got a smaller amount of retail space than some of the other buildings in M-City, but it still has about 7,000 square feet of retail. The amenities are exciting. They're on actually 3 different floors in the building. We have most of the indoor amenity area on the 3rd floor. And then we have a big outdoor amenity terrace on the 2nd floor. And then up on the 8th floor, we have a saltwater pool, an outdoor pool as well. So but
really
our amenity package, yeah, now I got your attention there with that. So our amenity package is of course, we'll have 24-hour concierge, front desk concierge service, the pool. We have something called a Zen water garden, which is a very special feature, which you'll see featured in our renderings. Of course, a fantastic fitness center with a yoga studio. We have a secluded outdoor lounge areas, dining rooms, party rooms with multiple lounges, a gaming screening room, fireplace lounge, outdoor kids playground and indoor playroom. And we have outdoor TV and gaming areas and outdoor dining with barbecue stations. And then, of course, cabanas around the pool. This building's got it all. So I think the amenity package we've paid special attention to at M4. I think it's in many ways the best package we've had so far with any of the M-City buildings. Awesome.
You alluded to floor plans being some of the best that you've designed in this community. Obviously, we want to get better each time. So we haven't seen them yet. I'm really excited to see them. But could you give us a quick overview on what to expect with the floor plans in terms of size range and what we can expect?
The mix of units will be very close to what you've seen in previous buildings. It's just the shape of the floor plate has made for more standard type uniforms. It's easier to lay out and it's easier for people to design furniture around and that kind of thing. But we do have a great mix of units as before. We'll starting around probably around, you know, smaller units, 1-bedroom units, 400 square feet, up to larger units, 2-bedroom plus 10, 3-bedroom units around 1,100 square feet. So it'll be a good range of units. There'll be something for everybody here.
Amazing. So just to sort of wrap everything up a little bit, we talked about the success of Phase 1, 2, and 3. We talked about the 15-acre master plan community that's really been highlighted by this amazing architecture, with each building really bringing some unique characteristics, and overall with the intention to create this incredible community. We are now at phase 4 of what will eventually be most likely 8 buildings. So we're about halfway through the process. We've got this building brings incredible amounts of technology, incredible floor plans, incredible amenities. We talked about the location in Mississauga being one of the best centralized locations that you're going to find in the city of Mississauga, close to jobs, close to retail, close to Square One, close to the universities. So we really believe in the whole package here at MCity, and looking back, phase 1, 2, and 3 were some of the best buildings that we've sold over the last decade, and moving forward, we really believe that MCity phase 4 is going to be an incredible project. So is there anything that I didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about? Anything that we missed?
Well, I think we've covered all the main features. Again, I think you've nailed it in terms of the complete offering that we have with M4. I think in many ways with each building we've gotten a little bit better and have picked up in certain cues in terms of things that we can do better with each. And I think this is probably the best building we've done so far. Very excited about it.
Amazing. And if our clients are interested, what do they have to do to be able to purchase that MCity phase 4?
Well, that'll be up to you to make sure that they get in touch with Baker Real Estate, and we make sure they get the suite that they want. But we will have a lot of demand, so we hope people are not disappointed. We've got 950 suites though, so I'm sure we'll be able to take care of most of your clients.
Amazing. Mark, John, always a pleasure. Really glad to do this, and hopefully we'll be doing it again in the future.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.